Right, hopefully that's fixed. Need to wait for Twitch to load on my phone, and then I can see for sure if this has been fixed. If it's not been fixed, I'm going to have to swap with someone who can stream, because these issues have been bad.
It's not what I want to be seeing. I've loaded the app up. It looks like it's showing.
No, it's working now.
Oh, yeah.
It is working now. It's bloody Twitch. I don't know why, but like I've got the app updated, so it shouldn't really be causing problems. But for some reason, it just is. And, like the black screen.
Hopefully that's us done with
but
issues.
Fortunately, third time's a charm, and we have a working stream again. Sorry about that, everyone. Again, I'm Primus Gaming, and joining me is Toxic CW. We've been persisting with some bugs with Twitch. It's not our fault. Just I guess it's a thing Twitch just doesn't like with Series X users. So it is what it is. But we have the stream up and running. We still have Q1. At the top of the table is Steerage in the McLaren. Second is FFR Milan in the Alfa Romeo, and third is Peachy Pig in the Ferrari. So we have got something going with this, and it's surprising actually. Another driver I haven't noticed is Peachy Pig, because KTS Draco was new, but then I saw Peachy.
Yeah. Have we had that name before?
I think that might have been last week, but I wasn't about last week. Right, so the Season 1 champion, Magic Marks, crosses the line to do 131.4. On board of him for a moment there while we was investigating the bugs with the with Twitch, but now it's been sorted. You can now finally watch these onboards. Drivers yet to set lap times is RSF on K-Mag, RSF on Ice, and then Breezy. Breezy being the McLaren, who is currently leading the Constructors' Championship at this moment. Need a decent point result to keep extending that lead, because Muddy Biscuit, being the championship leader, he's getting some good consistent point finishes, and Magic Mark, actually, being the Season 1 champion, he may be brand new back to the game, but he is finding his feet and getting some good pace out there.
Yeah, especially from Q1 for like 16 races, just get a good lap in, trying to be in the drop zone, and you should be good to hop in the pit and save all your tyres for Q2 and 3. So who's next to cross the line? Williams. Validation.
That's Catastrophe. Behind him, he's got a Ferrari of Peachy.
Brutal Reefing's in front of him. Oh, but wait, Validate's just in the second last corner.
I am on board with RSF on Ice in the Alfa Romeo, who is on an outlap, so he's about to begin his flying lap, so we'll do an on-board with him. So on board now with RSF on Ice as he goes round the last corner, and you can get a good third gear, hug the apex, and get a nice exit out, flat out speed, down through the start, finish straight, DRS active. And you've got to be careful going up to this hairpin, because you don't want to go too wide and then end up going too deep. But he gets a nasty lock up there on the left tyre, pushing downhill into the more difficult part of the track. Actually, the most difficult part, the S's, staying in 7th gear, flat out, but he runs wide as he's leaving the S section, down to 5th gear, and then pushing up to this right-hander, purple first sector, to 3rd gear, up in the 4th. This is where Sebastian Vettel got his actual, he actually got a suspension failure going over that part of the track, and later on that race Charles Leclerc got warned to stay away from it. And now going down to the 2nd straight with the DRS active on the Alfa Romeo as he pushes down the straight. No car in front of him to give him any tow, so he's all on his own there in the clean air. But sometimes being stuck behind a car can be pretty bad because you get the dirty air. And now at the end of the 2nd sector, that's a fastest 2nd sector as well, so very good work there by Ice. Oh, lock up again as he into the very right-hander. And you could get so much time if you can hug that right-hand side. But he doesn't. He chooses to go a little bit wide, going a little bit there. Round the last corner. Crosses the line and does a 1:30.65. It's a good lap.
Puts him in first place for the time being.
Do you agree that I think if he didn't have those lockups, he probably could have gotten maybe a 1:30.4 maybe?
Maybe it'd be interesting. He's safe in Q2, might see that going into Q2. Or even Q3.
There is two people that I think might have accidentally made a bit of a mistake in their choices of retiring from the session, because Muddy Biscuit and KTS Draco have decided to retire from Q1. They feel happy where they are with the time they've. But the championship leader, I don't think. Actually, I think KTS Draco at most will be the driver to be eliminated from Q1, because we've only got 16 cars, so it means only one person is actually going out. But I think retiring that early, while at least one driver can be eliminated, is a bit of a risky move.
Yeah, with the P14, 15 and 16 laps, Breeze remains in the pits. He might come out for a couple bits to spare, as he's out now. There we go. Should be interesting to see if anyone goes out. It's getting really cloudy though, looks like we could be seeing rain.
I'm looking at all three of these drivers, by the way, RSF1 Brundle, Lukey and Gruntastrophe. All of them have invalidated, and Gruntastrophe there doing a little bit of off-roading there across the track, and almost compromises Hardy, because Hardy had to get a maximum run down that sector. You need to really be on that left-hand side. But because Gruntastrophe rejoined the track there, Hardy's still going for it, but has Gruntastrophe doing that costed Hardy a couple of attempts maybe?
It could maybe have it, but it was a bit close. Not the closest thing. Hopefully it doesn't affect him too much. His Grunty's just cutting across the whole track.
Brundle, he feels happy where he is, but with Lukey and Gruntastrophe still there, Brundle is at risk of being eliminated from the qualifying session, and Hardy's packed it in. Hardy's not going for it. He doesn't feel the need to now. He's safe. So Hardy is finished now in Q1. Gruntastrophe will be eliminated from the first qualifying session.
Interesting.
It is.
Plenty of time to go.
He could have done it, but I don't think he would have had the fuel or the tyres, because he was on 3 lap old softs, and on a high deg circuit he's only going to put slower times, and grip is just going to be that much worse. Lukey, however, is actually deciding to go for another lap. Do you want the honours?
Okay, just hop on with him. Here we go, up the straight. Into this left-hander, so big lock up in the left, front left there. And the sweeping right into the many races. Nicely done, keeping nice and tight. Really fast through there. It's keeping it really tight and really. There we go again. Yep, it's keeping it really tight and really well, carrying a lot of speed throughout this sector in a second. I'm sure he'll be getting a much faster time. And this left-hander onto the long PRS straight. PRS enabled. Interesting to see where it comes out. It's a really good lap so far. Into the most technical part maybe. Big lock up on the left, goes wide and invalidates.
Oh, it's going deep there, just costed Lukey that lap. But on the bright side, Lukey is not out of the qualifying session because... wait, am I right in just seeing I don't know if I was seeing things, or I might have just seen some droplets.
I'm not too sure, but the sky is very dark right now. Could
We
be
might
seen.
be seeing rain for like. I know it won't be wet conditions, but it definitely will be. I think at this rate we might be seeing an intermediate tyre being used either in Q2 or Q3. I'm guessing Q3.
We'll soon see as Lucky will soon retire, I'm sure, and we'll go straight into it. There we go. Interesting to see a
If
wet.
it's in Q2, but that means it'll be interesting because obviously if it's a dry race and there's rain in Q2, we might be seeing like obviously everyone with the freedom of choice for their starting tyre, which is definitely going to be. It's definitely going to be interesting. K-Mag says Q2 should be Inters. So we were right. Grantashafy, being the only driver in the elimination zone for Q1, will be the only driver to go out of Q1 in his Williams, so he'll be starting at the back of the grid. And then going over the top three is Eitz in first, Steerage second, and K-Mag third. So we don't know if we're going to get rain immediately in Q2. If there's a dry moment, I imagine everyone's going to get out as fast as they can before it's too late.
Yeah, I think so. You don't really want to be waiting to
Yep,
the
it's dry.
Dry? Still really
So they
cloudy.
have.
It's really, really cloudy.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll be seeing the hopping
Like,
straight out.
I imagine some will. I think they're taking. Like me, I'd literally just make sure I've got the correct tyre on. Like, just get out as fast as I can because while rain is due, I wouldn't want to be sitting inside that pit for any longer than I need to be.
Yeah, there's a couple, two folk on the media up. Patch that, he's off them. O'Hardy is on the mediums, and K-Mag has got the inters on. I'm seeing rain already. There's rain coming down.
Yep, Brundle is the first car to go out onto the track. He's taking the gamble on putting on those soft tyres and getting around the track as fast as he physically can. People choosing to go onto the medium tyres now will probably have to reconsider because this is probably going to be too wet for drivers to get a lap in. And this is actually quite good for you, Toxic. Your first com session in Division 2. I'm pretty sure it's your first com session in Division 2, is it?
I think I've been here before. Good bit back was. I might have, I can't really remember. I think I've been here though.
Well, our first session together, and we've got a wet quali, so interesting already.
We've got a big, long train of the racing to try and get this lap done. K-Mag will be the last one.
We're definitely going to see, like, I've not seen a big train of cars go for a flying lap before. They heard us talk, heeded our advice, and right now the only car that's actually looking very good and possibly getting a dry lap out is Brundle, because he's the first one to respond and to get out onto the track before everyone else did. I don't even think he needs to worry about doing a really quick lap. He just needs to make sure he's above the intermediate delta and set a consistent and clean lap. So on board with RSF1 Brundle, Toxic, take it away with Brundle.
We're going up this slight hill into the left hand. I think be careful because it's wet in the exit. Don't want to get an oversteer and lose it. Can get our lap done nice and easy through the right hand. Oh, looks like a bit of a slide there. Oh, he's invalidated.
Oh God!
We'll drop back.
Brundle's only opportunity.
We'll drop back one. Eitz. We're on the Eitz now.
Oh,
He's made it through the S. He's puffing fast. Expect so. This is slow through here, trying to avoid all potential oversteer. Nice and fast, and the long straight. Just take your time in the exit, don't go too fast, don't want to get any oversteer and lose the car. Just try and get a time. I'll be using Brundle for a pull. Yep. Slight pull anyway. Got a car off in sector 2, I believe, it's Ferrari. Down to this left hander, big lock up in the left front, keeps it on the track though. The technical part, right into the long sweeper, take it nice and wide up here to get the best exit possible. Going up towards this long right-hander. Just don't put the foot down too much and don't spin. As you get in the penultimate corner. Nicely done, don't go too wide. And in the last corner, walk up. And we'll be crossing the line doing a 37.
The wheel spin. I'm not even going to bother like scrolling through all the cars because we've got a huge train behind, so I'll say them as they come. Eitz is first, FFR Milan gets second with a 39.3. Steerage, oh my god, DRS disabled. I think the cars crossing the line will be as is. Muddy Biscuit 4th, Lukey 5th, Brutal Reaper 6th, Breezy 7th, JJ Hudson 8th, Brooklyn One Shot 9th, and Magic Marks is 10th. For the drivers that didn't set lap times, K-Mag's just gone and crashed it in the final sector of the track, and into the wall he goes.
Pretty sure Brundle's trying to get a lap done. I think he's trying.
It's too ambitious from Brundle to do a lap now. It is very... I mean, we'll go on board of him. He's not got his DRS, no, his ERS active. I don't know what the delta is going to be like if you can do faster than a 142.3 on the intermediate tyres. I think the drivers will give it a go, but I am very, very confident that Eitz is definitely staying on pole for Q2, but crikey, you couldn't get better timing than that. As soon as Eitz crosses the line and a couple of others do, instantly DRS disabled.
Oh, it's really hard for him right now. Really hard to get the foot down. I don't think he'll be doing. Oh, it's so slow. I feel so sorry for him. As Peachy has got the inters on in the pit.
Peachy Pig will be coming out of the pits in a second because I can see his engineer is moving.
Slow lap, man. I feel sorry for Brundle. He'll be coming. I'm assuming he's going to pit. Yep. He'll probably going to enter and try and get a lap in, as also Draco has it inters on as well.
Pardon me. Peachy Pig, the first car to go out onto the track on the wet weather tyres, the intermediate tyres, sorry. KTS Draco is also going to be one of those cars to do it, but Peachy Pig in the ideal position now. He's got no stress of drivers behind him or drivers in front of him. He's just got a nice, clear, open track, and it's a chance to see if Peachy Pig can put himself up there. He did a decent Q1 lap and got himself P6 in Q1, but is he feeling lucky with that 2000 Michael Schumacher helmet on his head? Is he feeling confident with that helmet, or it's not meant to be?
It'll be good to see if he's a confident driver in these sort of conditions. It's really challenging for some drivers. Brundle now also has the antlers fitted. No Hardy, I'm assuming we'll put them on and try a lap. Good to see that.
The Scuderia are the only cars that have actually chosen to do intermediates. A couple of drivers, Brutal Reapers and JJ Hudson, are putting on inters because I think they're feeling worried about their laps.
I think they're safe personally, but we'll soon see if they come out.
I'd like to also pass on congratulations, by the way, because it obviously came up today. Congratulations to the Prema Formula 2 team for becoming Constructors' Champions recently, and also congratulations to Mick Schumacher, who got crowned the Formula 2 Champion of 2020 and will be joining us on the grid next year in 2021 with the RSF1 team, joined by Nikita Mazepin. So very big congratulations, and it'll be good to see the Schumacher name return to the sport.
We should mention also Brittle and JJ have come out in inters. Oh my god! Oh, nice save.
Good save. That could have easily just ended up with a DNF in the wall, but Peachy Pig rescues the car.
Lovely save there.
That was close.
This track can be really difficult in the weather.
Especially on a very high demanding sector like those S's. In wet weather conditions, that's just
You've got to
It's
be
just
really patient.
intense.
You can't push the car as much as you really want to. You take your
Got to do a
time.
lot of lifting.
Oh,
Oh,
careful.
KTS!
He slowly takes his way round. It can be such a really slow track in these conditions as well. It can be really hard. You just want to put your foot down and get the time going, but
He's lucky not to invalidate there.
yes, he's keeping on the track though, which is nice. It's interesting to see if he can get better than that 42.3. In P9, we want to do better than that though. So top 5 have retired. They're feeling confident with positions. I'm pretty sure they should stay where they are.
KTS Draco is... He is doing a decent job on those inters, but oh, look at that slide. He's not enjoying it, that's for sure.
Pretty sure he's on for a 42, I believe. So,
Can't be flat out there.
yeah.
I don't think it's going to be 40s on the
backing
intermediate
out.
tyres. Then again, he did struggle a little bit in his lap. Going back on board with RSF1 Brundle, who is on a lap, but he's not deploying his ERS load.
He's about to say roughly the same time as Draco, I believe. My estimate, I think, is a 43, 44. So he's carrying quite a lot of speed around here. Really nicely done. You just need to take your time. You want to put the foot down. The estimate was wrong. It was P12, slightly.
Well, he's just turned his battery on now, so I think actually that was his like a warm-up.
He's got the fuel thing up though, so...
Yeah, I don't think he can do it. Going back on board with Peachy Pig for a second, because he's actually got his battery turned on number 2. And he's now pushing through sharp left-hander. I mean, obviously we're only viewing these 3 drivers because JJ Hudson and Brutal Reapers may be out on track, but they're safe. I can't see the Inters doing faster than 140s, so they're definitely safe. But these 3 are fighting to stay in and getting some safety into Q3 because the dry tyre users did get a good lap in while they could. But the only driver at risk right now is Magic Marks if they can do better than a 142. But I think for the moment they might be alright. Brutal Reapers has actually parked his racing point on the S's.
If we're seeing a wet race, they could be doing just in practice. Brutal and JJ to get the grips for the track in the wet.
I don't think we're going to be seeing the intermediates going faster than P10 here. I think, yeah, KTS Draco heard us. He's called it a day. However, Peachy Pig is venturing a lot with track limits if he's thinking on trying to do another lap. Keep an eye on KTS, no, sorry, not KTS, Peachy Pig. But anyways, so RSF1 Brundle is going back into the pits. He doesn't have the fuel to carry on. If he can get back out in time, he might try one more go, or he's just going to call it a day.
I don't think he'll be out in time. Except he's taking in the garage.
Nah, Brundle's calling it a day. JJ Hudson probably will do as well. He doesn't see the point in carrying on because you can't do faster than that 1 minute 40. Brutal Reapers probably will accompany him into the pits. Same way, Hardy. Yeah, I don't think Hardy can do it. He did try his best though with those medium tyres, but Magic Marks did just get in. Well, Peachy Pig is not done yet. Peachy Pig is feeling confident to get a flying lap in on these intermediate tyres as he goes down the start-finish straight. Let's have a look at the best lap. So Magic Marks will get into the top 10. Obviously, he did that lap on the soft compound tyres, but Hardy was just one of those who tried to take the risk of medium tyres at the beginning. But I think a few people might have been sitting in the pits too long. There was a good, solid 20 to 30 seconds of people just in the pit lane before they went out. So that could have been valuable time to do a flying lap, but obviously it's unpredictable with these weather conditions.
In this Humble to Peach, there's quite a lot of oversteer in that. It's just, you physically want to push, get the foot down through that to back at a time, but it's just so hard to execute. The whole oversteer, lots of wheel spinning.
Slightly cutting that hairpin did unsettle the car. Luckily, not invalidated his lap, but his car definitely didn't agree with it. Magic Mark still is good in P10. His lap will see him through into Q3, so the Season 1 champion will be joining his teammate, who's currently leading the championship, into Q3. Meanwhile, there's only one car left on the track, and it's Peachy Pig, and Peachy Pig indicates his lap is one of his last opportunities to do so. And so it's up to Peachy Pig now if he decides now it's time to think about the race, or is he not done yet? Because he's got 15 seconds to go back across the line if he chooses to do so.
Yep, we're gonna get.
No, he is.
Determined.
He's not done yet.
I like this determination though.
Yeah, there's one thing about some drivers is the commitment. Right now Peachy has got nothing to lose with trying again. He could gain out of it or go nowhere. Either way, he's out of Q2 as it stands. If something happens, it will still be P13. He won't be down the back of the grid, but he might be able to claim P12 at most.
A position and ends up position, the closer you are to the front, I suppose. The closer you are to that top 10, the better chance you got of moving up positions with the fresher tyres.
P13 is not a bad position to start from.
That's probably worth it anyway. I personally would rather start P13 than P8, 7 and 6. I feel like that part of the be rushing to try and get positioned at the first corner. Damage is more than likely usually in that position. Especially with this first corner, it's a really sharp corner, everybody's trying to barge their way through. And I don't believe...
Hear him feathering the acceleration.
Don't believe he can go any faster unless he flats out this, which is practically impossible. Yes, not going to do any better.
He might just improve enough to maybe take P12. Highly doubt he'll get into Q3. He does do so though. Well done to Peachy Pig. His persistence did get him up to overtake Brundle in the elimination zone. So Peachy Pig does start in P12 for the start of the Grand Prix. Toxic, let's go over the let you go over the drivers eliminated and the top 3.
Hardy in P11, Peachy Pig in P12, RSF1 Brundle in P13, and KTS Draco P14, and K-Mag who crashed in P15. Should be interesting in this Q3. We'll see what the weather's like in the first, if it's going to be wet or dry, and then we'll see who can take his on pole position for the start of the race.
And it's a very vital position here for the constructors' battle now for Q3, because all of the sort of constructors battling cars have managed to get up into Q3. I don't think Alfa Romeo is close enough to challenge for the lead anymore, but I think let's have a little double check to make sure they are. Oh, it looks heavier now. It does look much heavier. So in terms of the constructors, yeah, Alfa Romeo is way out of it. I don't think Alfa Romeo can take the win here in the Constructors' Championship, but both the Haas cars and both the yeah, both the Haas cars and both the McLarens did make it into Q3, so that's big for the start of the race.
Everybody's coming out inters. Yep.
We don't have any clue though on if it's going to be a wet start.
The way it's looking right now, it could be a wet start. It's still really, really cloudy. We'll soon see. 12 minutes as everybody's coming out in the inters. I'm trying to see what laps we'll be seeing here. The folk who got through the Q3 don't really have to do much unless they got the softs done, and that was them in the pit. Now they've got to try out the inters, and we'll soon see how well they can do.
Brutal Reaper's taking the soft tyre by the looks of it. He might be possibly he might be hinting to us that maybe the rain might end, but
doesn't look like it's
from
gonna
my
end.
point of view, doesn't look like it. No.
No, anytime soon. JJ should be the first one to take it across. Unless there's ice past.
Been a very interesting qualifying session. I mean, we did manage to see some dry laps come out in Q1, obviously with the elimination of Grunt. And in Q2, because of obviously that rain, everyone just came out in one go. So I won't be surprised if we hear of any drivers like saying, "Oh, you blocked me," or blah blah blah, you know, because everyone did come out at the same time. I'd never seen the packs so close together on qualifying.
Yeah, you also get the occasional driver who will be a little bit of queue and they jump up the queue a little bit just to get there before everybody else can. There's JJ takes across, so I think he started his lap as ice, goes into the pit. A weird strategy.
Possibly, I think, possibly, there might be some sort of relief to this rain. I don't see... Ites had no damage or anything like that. I don't see why Ites would have pit, so I think there is a possibility that we might see this this rain possibly let up. Because...
JJ goes off.
Cutting across the track after...
Still valid.
Still valid, but it's because he slowed down. If you gained time from the corner cut or running wide, then the game would invalidate you. But JJ Hudson will not continue his flying lap. It looks like he has chosen to
Milan
call it
off at the exact same point as JJ. Haas coming around by the abyss. Nope. Magic
on board with
Marco.
the championship runner-up, Steerage, as he's the car that's behind JJ Hudson's Red Bull.
Looks like he might be giving Brazy a little toe up the straight.
A teamwork there from McLaren.
A lock up. Just think he's trying to take a time around here to try and get a nice little lap, and it looks like he's drying up well. Doesn't look as heavy as when we first started Q3, so we could be getting a dry. I think Ice has came out the pit to start a lap.
I think the game might have told him when it started like rain to ease up in like 15 minutes, but obviously there's only 12 minutes in Q3, so I don't think we're going to see the intermediates being taken off before the end of qualifying. JJ Hudson does do a 148.5, but he's going back around again because he did have that little excursion off the track. A 146.1 by Steerage, but a 45.5 by Breezy. So the 45s is possible on the on the intermediate compound tyre, you know, the intermediates.
Yeah.
But that means if Peachy Pig had fresher inters, he probably could have beaten Hardy's lap in Q2.
Yes, quite a lot of the two Haasies can second and third for the time being.
Oh, now that's huge.
Yeah.
As I said, for the constructors, obviously McLaren need both the Haas to be as far away from them as possible. and the Haas decided to squeeze themselves right up there with Breezy and Steerage. Brutal Reapers, however, puts himself up on the top of the table with a 1:45.3, so Racing Point on top for this Q3 session.
I believe JJ is on another lap. This time not going off. Ites goes into the pit again.
No, Ites is not using the pit, he's going for a flying lap.
We just popped up Maggie for pitting. Interesting.
That might just be like a
bug.
Visual bug, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And JJ goes round it, a long sweeping right hander on the penultimate corner. Onto the last corner, just trying to carry as much speed as possible but not go wider, get the oversteer, and he goes third. 45.
That's a good lap from JJ.
Yeah, puts himself in front of the two Haases who Muddy Biscuit is going to finish this lap he's on as well, could be going faster. He goes, currently stays where he was. His teammate Magic Marco is also continuing. Will he improve? Nope. Mercedes.
He did improve.
Did he?
He did beat his previous best, but he didn't do fast enough to progress better than P5 until FFR Milan now splits the Haas apart. Magic Marks is sitting closely with the championship runner-up. Meanwhile, Muddy Biscuit is being separated from Breezy by JJ Hudson. However, RSF1 Ites has proven that wet weather is a real good friend of his back in Singapore. As he goes through to the last corner, the race winner in Singapore, as I said just a moment ago, proved that he did like the wet weather. Does the wet weather like him back here in the United States? It does. A 44.5 by RSF1 Ites.
Beautiful
what
lap.
A lap.
I'm noticing that the rain is off now, but the track's not dry, so it could be
Still
empty.
very wet.
It dries up for one last lap, maybe in the softs.
I think it will literally be very close, but the spray from, like, I'm looking at Lukey's AlphaTauri, and the spray coming off the AlphaTauri is still quite prominent, so
Yeah.
it's definitely too wet for dry weather tyres.
Steerage goes P2 there, a 45.2.
Oh, and that's good for Steerage because he's now separated from Muddy Biscuit by quite a large margin. So for a moment there, Haas looked like they were pressuring McLaren down the table, but then Magic Marks, P4.
Second row for now is an alphabet across the line.
Nasty lock-up from Lukey, and JJ Hudson is probably going to be the first driver to take the gamble on trying out the dry weather tyres. I think he's just giving it a little moment because I'd say the safety net to go out and do a lap time. I would say maybe 2:15. Would you say that?
Yeah,
on the clock.
Yeah, I don't know what the heights there on these kind of last corner again. He was purple second sector well. Could have gone faster again. Maybe. Yep. Improves his time.
A full second faster than the championship runner-up. So Ites has put himself up there. However, Lukey did do a fastest first sector on board of this AlphaTauri as he's pushing down the second straight. Is he going to do another faster sector? Or is he going to at least beat his personal best? A nasty lock-up though, cool, blimey. Fastest second sector as well, so very good lap time, well, sector time, sorry, coming out, even with those lock-ups. Don't you agree? It kind of makes you think of Turkey, the way this track looks.
Yeah, it's really cuts a big chunk of that corner off, usually in driving line, and doesn't come off as well. You just see what time he can do. He's got a lot of drivers coming back in there, laps and intervals, because I don't think it's dry enough for the softs yet.
Oh, that was close.
See, Lucky coming round a 45. 8.
I think going very deep there out that left hand really did cost him huge. That's a shame for Riplin for Lukey, and sorry, now speaking of Riplin One Shot, I was about to say his name by accident, but Riplin One Shot is now the only car to have not done a flying lap in Q3, who's now pushing his way through to do the start of his flying lap, so we'll stay on board with the Mercedes driver. He should be a racing point, but obviously today he's chosen to wear black instead of pink.
It'll be interesting to see if the Mercedes can better, see if the Haas can better as well, but one of the drivers has retired. Comfortable where he is. P4 Magic Mark. Interesting to see if Breezy can get up there with steerage. P3 or maybe even P1.
Loads of people are doing their laps again just to go for, because it's, as you said beforehand, it's not going to go to dry. It's still too wet for dry tyres, so they can still try and fight for the top spot of the table. It's just a matter of can they work with the track limits. It's very difficult, especially in the wet weather. So stay on board with Riplin One Shot, but the next car to cross the line is actually Lukey once again in his AlphaTauri. And while we got a quick quiet spell, also I'd like to, for people on Twitter, when you go later on to vote for your driver of the day after the race, Lukey got second, a 44.7.
He's picking up a pace from his first lap that he set there. Really nice lap from him.
If people can, just going on what I was quickly saying, if people can trend the hashtag thank you, as it's been confirmed Romain Grosjean, due to his injury sustained in last week's crash in Bahrain, he will not be attending the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, so Pietro Fittipaldi will be taking his seat for the remainder of 2020. RSF1 would like to wish Romain Grosjean well in whatever steps he chooses to take for the future, and to thank Romain Grosjean for his contribution to the sport over the years.
But Muddy Biscuit and Lukey will have no days there. Breezy has invalidated, unfortunately, and that will be his qualifying over. The steerage,
done it,
I believe, just behind. We're about to finish his lap. Looks like he could go faster. P2.
Oh, he jumps up to second. FFR Milan jumps to fourth. Riplin One Shot invalidated again, so he'll be starting 10th. He won't be improving. However, on board with the championship leader, Muddy Biscuit, who's currently in P9, is not where he needs to be. He needs a good lap to get himself up there to try and contend with steerage. Otherwise, he could potentially lose his lead today if steerage can get a good result and Muddy Biscuit doesn't. But going around the last corner with Muddy Biscuit, the championship leader, he crosses the line and he goes fourth fastest, closer to steerage. That's where he needs to be. He'll be right behind him going in the start. In terms of like the rows, obviously he is going to be directly planted facing the back of steerage's McLaren, so it's a good spot for him.
Yeah, interesting. We've got steerage and Muddy Biscuit. I'm sure we're fighting that part out, and then Breezy right behind Magic Marco. We're fighting that for the McLaren team as well.
Both Haas and McLaren have suffered a bit of a drawback because obviously going in the top 10, you've got Riplin One Shot in 10th, JJ Hudson 9th, Breezy in 8th, so McLaren's got a car down the back of the top 10, and the same with Haas because Magic Marks is in 7th, Drew Wick, FFR Milan 5th, Muddy Biscuit 4th, Lukey 3rd, Steerage 2nd, and RSF1 Ice takes the top of the table with a very admirable 144.2. So a very good lap there from RSF1 Ice, but again, as I said earlier, he likes wet weather. So definitely a thing he likes, and we got a dry race, so all the drivers that were in Q2 that got through on those dry weather tyres will all be starting on their softs. Everyone behind them have the freedom of choice, so we could see some interesting strategies being played out. Oh, we've just lost Hardy.
I'll come back.
and we lost FFR Milan, and that's a shame for FFR Milan because he's in the top 5. So that means when the lights go green, his Alfa Romeo will fall back a little bit. So yeah, if anyone is wondering why nothing's happening and you're new to the stream, this is the transition period. So this is the moment between the formation lap and Q3. So this is the moment where the drivers will be waiting on the lobby host, who is RSF1 Brundle, to ready up. In the meantime, while they wait for Brundle to ready up, they can go over their strategy, adjust their fuel loads, only minorly adjust their setups due to the enabling of Parc Ferme. And if you're outside of the top 10, obviously you can choose to use different tyres. Unfortunately, Hardy will probably not get that luxury of choosing his starting tyre due to being kicked out of the game. He's currently in P11. Or you could just use this brief moment before the host readies up to quickly go to the toilet, you know. It all depends on what you choose to do, but now we wait. But America has proven in real-life Formula 1 and in RSF1 that it's literally anything could happen. I mean, the most prominent thing I can think of is 28 Kimi Räikkönen, his final Formula 1 victory, well, his most recent one and his final one so far with Ferrari after doing really good. Do you have any prominent memories of this track, Toxic?
Not really. Let's see. I personally don't really like the track.
You don't like it?
Nah. I'm the same as Steerage. I like the wet weather as well. As you may have saw in Singapore.
P2.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to tell, like, you know, to put your finger on who's going to be there, because the reason why Eitz did really good in Singapore back before is because when it was the wet weather for the start, he just took off. But then once it transitioned to dry, he stayed in the lead, but he slowly started to lose his gap. It started to get chopped down ever so slightly, but then he managed to keep it and hold on long enough to cross the line as the Grand Prix winner. But obviously he hasn't got that luxury of a wet weather start, so he has a little bit of work ahead of him. Thank you for 31 viewers. So that's a good start to the day.
Night.
Good start to the night, sorry. And now we wait.
So, are you looking forward to Thursday's race?
Yes and no. Yes, because I do like America as a track, but in my 2 seasons that I've raced in this circuit, I haven't had the best of luck. So, yes, because hopefully my luck will change, because it was, to be fair, Suzuka was one of those tracks I was dreading before in that race. So, you know, it was a good result. Behind you, actually, you collected 3rd.
Lucky for me, unlucky for Barry.
Yeah, Barry going too wide on that left-hander before going down the large straight to 130R in Suzuka. He lost it, and when he finally regained control, it wasn't enough to keep me behind him, and he did try his best to retake 4th position, but because I had fuel and ERS stockpiled, he just couldn't do it. But going back on this track, I remember really big battles. I think I remember this is where the championship in Season 1 for F4 took a change, when McCracken and Tidge managed to bring back those points after my poor result in Red Bull back at the time, and Alco Saints, I think, did DNF in America. So that's when the championship turned in favour of Alfa Romeo back then. Really not much memories of Season 2's race in F4. I think I remember definitely there was Toto, who used to be an Alfa Romeo driver in F2 last year. I remember he got caught in an incident in the S's, and it didn't go down well afterwards. inquiries, obviously, with the stewards. Had a little look into that, but then it got resolved. And now Brundle readies up. So, Toxic. Big question, mate. Do you want to have the honours of the formation lap?
You can take us away. I'll give you the honour of doing it.
Are you sure? I'm more than happy to.
You can do it.
Rightio, so going on board from last to first, so in 16th position, after unfortunately missing out, is Gruntastrophe. He'll be starting last in his Williams. In 15th is RSF1 K-Mag in his Renault after crashing in Q2. He starts at the back of the grid, well, nearly at the back of the grid with Grunt on the hard compound tyre, so the only hard compound tyre runner of the day. KTS Draco in the Ferrari, he'll be starting in 14th on the soft, so he's going a bit for a more aggressive start for the race. RSF1 Brundle, he'll be starting in 13th in his Williams with a medium compound tyre. He did miss out on starting P12 because the car in front of him, Peachy Pig in his Ferrari, who's also on the medium compound tyre, managed to do a very good lap in Q2, enough to jump up the position and take 12th from him, and he'll get an even better start because Hardy did lag out before the beginning of the formation lap. In 11th, speaking of him, is Hardy in the Mercedes. He'll be starting in P11 on the soft compound tyre. In P10 is Riplin One Shot in the Mercedes. He should be in his Racing Point. In P10 on his soft compound tyres. In 9th is JJ Hudson in his Red Bull on the softs. In 8th is Breezy in his McLaren. He'll be starting on the softs as well. In 7th is the Season 1 champion Magic Marks in his Haas. He'll be starting on the soft compound tyres. In 6th is Brutal Reapers in his Racing Point on the softs. FFL Milan in 5th in the Alfa Romeo. He'll be starting on the softs. Muddy Biscuit in 4th, the championship leader. He needs to get a good result from this to keep the gap up open between himself and steerage, so he really needs to get a good start here, but he'll be starting in the softs in his hand. 4th. 3rd is Lukey, who actually did really good at recovery after having a bit of a poor start to qualifying, gets 3rd. So he starts P3 in his Alpha Tauri on the soft compound tyre. 2nd is Steerage, the runner-up, who really did make a good impression in Q3. He starts 2nd in his McLaren on the soft compound tyres, and then way up in front, who's actually going to have some cold tyres for the start of the Grand Prix, is RSF1 Ice. In his Alfa Romeo, he will be starting on his softs as well. And now it's just a matter of how this goes, because I'm pretty sure, I think the inside might be the more ideal position to start from here.
He could also be in great danger if someone on the right side swooping across, and so it could be interesting to see.
Well, no bug on lobby restarts because the game lets us have 5 red lights. And there's 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go, and it looks like Steerage didn't get a good run off the line as Lukey moves up to 2nd, and Muddy Biscuit challenges down the inside and overtakes his championship rival. Lukey leads, Ice gets 2nd. Ice leads, Lukey 2nd. Muddy Biscuit's actually challenging him on the S's. Oh, this is close between the AlphaTauri and the Haas. And it looks like Lukey doesn't want to yield. Muddy Biscuit falls back behind. FFR Milan 4th, Brutal 5th, Steerage 6th, PG 7th, Freezy 8th, KTS 9th, Hardy 10th, JJ Hudson. JJ Hudson's retired on the first lap, and that brings out a safety car. And Brundle collect a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with JJ Hudson. So we haven't even begun the Grand Prix, and instantly we have a retirement and a penalty and a safety car.
I didn't think it touched Brundle there, but interesting. Got quite a couple of position changes as well. Lookie's up 1, Muddy Biscuit's up 1, Milan's up 1, Brutal Reaping's up 1, Steerage is down 4, Peachy Pig's made it up 5, Breezy remains where he started, Draco's up 5, O'Hardy's up 1, One Shot is down 1, Magic Marcus down 5, which is not good for the structures. Brundle remains where he is, but he's got that penalty. Grunty's up 2. K-Mag remains where he was.
Well, this is a good opportunity for the soft compound runners, because if they want to, they can slap on some hards and go on for a long while. However, it is the start of the Grand Prix, so I highly doubt they will do that, but they can do it and then catch back up to the safety car. Lukey tries to do the dummy and trick people into going into the pits, but it doesn't look like anyone's really willing to get off these soft compound tyres.
We've got Brundle.
Except for Brundle. Brundle will be able to go into the pits and serve his 5-second time penalty that he collected for his collision with JJ Hudson on the first lap.
It'll be interesting to see what tyre he goes on, or if he can get damage.
He's going to choose to get new mediums. He's not collected any damage. He's still looking good, but now he will serve his 5-second time penalty, which at the beginning of the race, to get a safety car and serve it instantly is a good chance for Brundle to bounce back. So obviously we'll come back to RSF1 Brundle in a little bit. Looking back up though to the front of the grid behind the Mercedes powered safety car, we've got Ice still up in front. He's now doing a Lewis Hamilton and kind of wishing this car would go in or go faster.
Yeah, I believe we'll wait for another lap after this one as well, so it'll be a long 2 laps. Just hopefully it'll go in sooner rather than later so the soft runners can use the maximum potential of the tyres.
It is kind of good for the soft runners though, because that means the fact that they're sort of coasting in this safety car period, they can at least get another lap or so out of these softs. Because initially they'd be pushing at this point, but with just chilling and going slow, they can have the luxury of staying out for a little bit longer than their strategies advised them to.
Yeah. They'll just change up the whole strategy they're going with in the first place.
The only car that sort of benefited from this, well, 2 cars, sorry, that's benefited from this safety car is Brundle, because he served his penalty instantly. So he has no penalties now, he's nice and clean. And RSF1 K-Mag, because he's made up 2 positions after JJ Hudson's retirement and Brundle's penalty.
Yeah, K-Mag off the line just looked like it was taking a nice chill lap to have it avoid all potential damage, just taking his time round. It's paid off, 2 positions already. Is someone pitted?
Magic Marks has chosen to pit.
So you got...
I think he's slapping on the hards.
About to see if he had damage there. Hards. Yep, he's on the hards.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and take these to the end of the Grand Prix. You know, he's got nothing to lose. You know, he can give it a go. You never know. If another safety car comes out, Magic Marks might trigger something for them. But for now, the Season 1 champion falls down to 15th position on the grid behind RSF1 Brundle. That pushes Gruntastrophe and K-Mag back up another position. Very good work from Gruntastrophe, by the way. Got a nice clean, got a nice clean start. P12 on the medium compound tyres, so once everyone on the softs pit, he'll only have Peachy Pig to deal with. He's on the same strategy as him.
We're currently taking notes on how long the tyres last for Thursday's race.
You can use this as research.
Yep, I usually do it for the F5, but I'll use both of them this week. I'll compare them all and see who worked out the best. Yes, I believe the safety car should be in this lap. Hopefully.
Now we wait. Looks like the gap has slightly fallen back on... Yeah, there you go. Safety car is in this lap. Anyone who's new to F1, if you're wondering why all the cars will be going slow in a moment, is because until the flags go green, you're not allowed to perform any overtakes under the safety car conditions. If you do any overtakes, you will receive a penalty for doing so. So the pack can only go when RSF1 Ice goes. We've had one incident in the past where, due to the pack being bunched up after the safety car, it was Portimao, actually, no, Portimao, Mugello this year in Formula 1, where a massive crash happened after the safety car. No one's allowed to make any moves until Ice crosses that start-finishing line. And he goes now. And off we go for the restart of the American Grand Prix.
Let's see when he goes for an overtake. Looks like he's just staying in line. No moves
I think
being made.
very tamed. A very tamed one. I think a load of people are choosing to be very careful. However, Breezy is right on the gearbox of Peachy Pig, because Peachy Pig's mediums are obviously affecting him, and actually Peachy Pig exceeds the track limits there and receives a 3-second time penalty. And it looks like steerage is challenged. Brutal Reapers.
Yeah, but with a bit of a oversteer out of the...
Swarmed.
Peachy's going for a dive. Big dive. Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Oh, move down the inside. Peachy Pig does it, but he doesn't get good traction coming out of the hairpin. And now it's a drag race. It's Ferrari power versus Mercedes power going down the start, the second straight. Peachy Pig has got the outside, and looks like the Ferrari just does win this drag race.
Oh, hard they got moved down in Draco, I believe, and that almost just there.
Very good recovery from Hardy, especially after being kicked by the game.
Oh, Breezy looked him inside there, didn't quite get the move and Loopins.
Oh, Draco wants to get back.
There's a big gap forming. Looks of it from the Brutal's pitting. Looks like it might have damage.
Maybe. Rip with one shot has received a 3-second time penalty for receiving multiple warnings or exceeding track limits or corner cutting. Meanwhile, on board still with the Ferrari of KTS Draco, as he is right now in between a very uncomfortable position with a Mercedes behind him and a Mercedes in front. Rip in one shot is staying right on the back of him, and he's trying to keep close with Hardy to retake 8th position, which he just lost. And actually, speaking of Hardy, up in front, he's challenging Breezy. Breezy loses the back end of the car. Hardy moves up. And a very good opportunity there for Hardy to seize the moment while the struggling McLaren lost the back end. Hardy moves up to 7th place, so up 4 positions already. And now Breezy is being pressured by a Ferrari.
Up ahead as well.
Oh, see. Oh, Peachy Pig and Hardy. Peachy Pig tries to cover off the inside, but it looks like Hardy forces his way across. And Peachy Pig's trying to hold round the outside now. Oh, what a battle! But due to the softer compound, it looks like Hardy moves up into 6th position and continues to push forward. So very good racing there from Hardy on the after the safety car restart. He's done very good to capitalise.
Yeah, from this restart, Aitz has got a really good restart. He's 2.5 seconds in front of P2 Lucky. He's looking really fast right now. There's a big gap forming between Steedish and the Hardy, I believe. Yep. 2.5 seconds there. Just can see how this backpack's looking really racy as well. Quite a lot of moves being taken.
Going on board with... Sorry about that. Going on board with the Williams team quickly.
Peachy's off.
What's happened?
Peachy got a lot of oversteer. Oh, right in the back of the track.
Oh my god! He just came out, collected him.
Oh, that's a safety car
That's
again.
a safety car. No doubt that's a safety car. Peachy Pig just lost control on the S's, and unfortunately, as he when he was just a passenger there after his car lost control, unfortunately, his Ferrari flew into the path of RSF1 K-Mag. So unfortunately, both of these two are both passengers and victims of a horrible incident, and that is the end of RSF1 K-Mag's and Peachy's day. K-Mag was looking like he was doing very good on those tyres.
I'm not too sure how Peachy got in the middle of the track, crowded with Breezy, looked behind, and he was on the grass driving. I don't know if he flowed it and just lost control. That's obviously unfortunate for Peachy and K-Mag. Both their race being compromised. It's really interesting to see if any strategies changing up. Looks like Lucky's pitting along with Muddy Biscuit.
The whole pack is going into pit except for Hardy, RSF1 Ice, Yeah, that's it. And that means a load of the pack will. A person who's really benefited from this is Magic Marks. Pitted 2 laps ago under the previous safety car conditions, he moves up to P3 on the hard compound tyres. I have to say, I bet he's pretty happy with that right now, because he's now in contention of fighting for the top spot, because Brundle ahead of him has got another time penalty, but this time it's a 3 second, not a 5 second, so Brundle can't serve it in the pits. Hardy and Ice both have to pit still.
Interesting strategy as well, because quite a lot of folk have on mediums, some on hards, so interesting to see what folk in the mediums are doing.
So it looks like Brundle is actually going to take the net lead here of the Grand Prix, and Magic Marks is actually going to take net second from this. However, it looks like due to the safety car, steerage did get a little bit of problems in the pits as he was stuck in traffic. Steerage fell down to 8th place. Breezy, also the other McLaren, has fallen down to 12, but Brundle and Magic Marks have probably made the best calls. Brundle pitting under the previous safety car, and same with Magic Marks. It was a good call.
Yeah, looks like it's working out well. Well then, we'll maybe see another safety car later on. It's interesting to see if they folk that have pitted for the mediums, if they will last. That's 20 laps. 21.
The hards could.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting to see if the fresh mediums will.
And this has played well for Magic Marks, because he's got a couple laps of just chilling and coasting on his hard tyres, so he's not pushing them. So he could actually just finish on these tyres if he wanted to. He could just do it.
Yeah, it's looking good. Hopefully they can hold him to the end and have a good race. Hopefully no more safety cars, and we'll soon see. I believe this will be the last lap of it.
So this is our second safety car?
Yeah, second.
So no virtual safety cars as of yet. So normally as it stands, when you're under a safety car and you make a pit stop, you save 30 seconds under the safety car, as long as you're not like bunched up with the pack. Under a virtual, I think it's 15 seconds that you can save depending on the track. I think Bahrain was 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I think it's all track dependent really under the virtual.
Yeah, it just depends. Depends how good you are with your delta as well. Some folk are really confident with sitting on like the 1/10. Some folk aren't really confident, like sitting about half a second. So delta as well can be really unpredictable sometimes.
Right, going up the grid for a second. What do you think will happen now? Because Toxic, you've seen obviously what safety cars can do to the pack, and the top 2 have chosen not to pit. How do you feel this is going to play out?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll be going to the mediums sooner rather than later, whether they're going now. Be interesting to see if they're hoping for another safety car to come out again. Or I don't know how they're going to play it out. I'm pretty sure well, almost certainly the hards will make it to the end. I don't know, safety cars coming in this lap. Be interesting to see where they come out after they pit. With the hards going to the end and mediums potentially going to the end. The first race this week in America, so we'll soon see the strategies volunteers can go.
And off goes the Mercedes-powered safety car. So now essentially ICE has become the new safety car as we round the right-hander. And again, same as the first safety car restart, no one can make any overtakes until ICE crosses the start-finishing line. So we wait for him to take off, which is now. He's put his foot down, and it looks like Hardy actually got a better run out because he's not too fooled by what ICE did. ICE defending well. And we now commence with the second restart of the F2 Grand Prix.
Draco in turn 1, really fast in, gets past steerage. Yep, that's the first move of What about the safety car? That's good for him. Looking to get them moves going now. No other moves.
Oh! I was about to say Ripman One Shot was going to be putting pressure on steerage, but then he went a bit wide going in the S's, and Draco did as well. The championship runner-up can't afford to be caught in any problems here.
Yeah, this is a really good track for the wheel. The sticks, it's really hard. But really consistent is the front two are making a decent gap from Brundle currently. They need to be using them soft as well as can, try to get the biggest gap possible.
Oh! Ripman One Shot. Sorry to interrupt that, but it looks like steerage tried to shake off the slipstream with Rippling One Shot, because obviously it's the medium tyre versus hard tyres. Obviously the advantage is facing more towards One Shot, but steerage is putting in good pace to keeping the Mercedes behind him. But the big question is when is the soft tyres gonna soon hit in? Because it's they've done 9 laps.
Ooh.
On the soft compound tyres.
He in the last turn, got some move done on Ralph One Shot. As he's coming back in the straight. Will he make the move? Yep, looks like he's going to stick it. Regain that position. As Breezy gets a better run at it. Breezy looks like he's in front. As One Shot gets the position back again. And Breezy backs out as One Shot gets a penalty for cutting the corner. Breezy gets a move into the S's. I wouldn't recommend.
So for the moment, Breezy concedes. What a drive!
Really good driving from the two. Unlucky for One Shot to get the penalty just there. This One Shot's now in the McLaren sandwich.
With the championship leader, he's stuck behind the Season 1 champion. Are we going to see any Haas team orders coming into play? Because Muddy Biscuit can't really afford to be held up too long. He needs to start pulling away from steerage, because the more he's held up by his teammate, the more chance it gives steerage to claw his way through the pack and then attack his championship rival.
Yeah, Grunty's now getting past Breezy. It's a really good fight from these two right now. Breezy's get past again. Grunty goes really wide and looks like Brutal might get that position. Nope, Grunty's retaking it. Brundle with a 3-second time penalty just there.
Dan Will 001. Hi guys, this looks great. How would I join you? If you want to join, please use the link provided by the Nightbot and apply through www.racingseries.f1.com. You'll be able to put your application through there or contact Shane. So a couple of people from the committee. I'm pretty sure a couple of them will be watching and they'll help you get applied. But we are an Xbox league, so obviously if you're playing PlayStation or PC, we won't be able to take you in. But if you're an Xbox player, we'd be more than happy to welcome you in.
And so I watched Ikes and Hardy cross the line. This is a strategy for them. This is the time from lap 10 to 13 for them to go in the mediums, so it'll be interesting to see when they go in. They are pulling a quite significant gap on Brundle. Just holding off Luque and Magic Mark really well.
He's just had one shot again.
Steerage is going on Draco. Flies by him. Nicely done from Steerage. He'd like to make his way out of the field.
There's a four-way battle going on.
Yeah, it's the McLarens are having good battles currently. And not letting any overtaking opportunity for this long right hander. As Hardy and Ikes both out.
ATS collects a 3-second time penalty. He joins the list of drivers with penalties. And DRS is enabled.
It's the first lap you saw it since the start. 2 safety cars.
Well, with a track with corners like these, it's no surprise that we had safety cars, but the game's been very unpredictable because sometimes it likes to deploy virtual safety cars, even with really, really big crashes. So to see it appropriately deploy a safety car, because in real life, you know, there's that accident between Peachy Pig and K-Mag. If something like that happens, that would be a red flag.
Yes, Breezy gets a move on Draco.
Ooh! Down the inside, Breezy goes on KTS Draco. Draco tries to defend, but Breezy gets a better run through the hairpin, and it looks like now he'll get a DRS as well to pull away from KTS. KTS is doing his best to try and catch back up to the McLaren. But at the moment, it's no dice to KTS. He'll have to wait for his moment. Try again, but it's happening once again. It's Brutal Reapers and Catastrophe. Once again, take us with this battle.
This Reapers looks like he's trying to fight for this position here. Saying that that opportunity to overtake this long sweeping right hander onto the straight though, if get the DRS. It's like a big DRS train, so it's hard to get the move done. It's quite a lot of DRS can burn. As he gets the DRS enabled, looks like Grant might have pulling away a little bit. Looks like he's catching up those ahead. Draco's under pressure. As one shot gets the move done there.
Stupid cameras. I was trying to see if I get a nice camera angle on the overtake on Rupert One Shot with KTS, but it was just a nose cam. I hate that.
Yeah. Grant picks up another penalty. Not too good for him currently. The two McLarens are both in different strategies. One's on mediums, one on hards. And see who's pays off more.
We have to go back on board with FFR Milan, sorry, because he's not catching up to Muddy Biscuit, but Muddy Biscuit is not able to shake him away, so I think this is where really the medium tyres are starting to come into play.
Yeah, it's just try and get the moves done as quick as possible for the hards and then come into play. Try to gain as much time as possible.
So close, because Steerage is right behind FFR Milan. The championship rivals are separated by an Alfa Romeo at the moment.
There's Lights pits and Hardy stays out, and during that Draco did drop back 2 positions as Grunty and Brutal both got the move done on him. Interesting to see, I believe Lights coming out last year. It's Peachy Pig.
Oh no, Peachy! Oh no, sorry, Peachy was retired.
Yeah.
I thought he was still in the race.
Unlucky for him. This will Ice be going for the overcut here on Ice. It's been interesting to see if Ice will catch up and kind of will pit. Because I believe Brundle will have to pit, I'm pretty sure. I don't think his tyres will last to the end. Technically, well, look at us leading.
At the moment, because I just realised Brundle started on mediums. Brundle made a pit stop, but he is currently not allowed to finish on those tyres. He has to pit again.
Yeah, so we'll have to make a pit. Probably near the end for the softs. I believe that'll be what he'll be going for. So McLaren's getting really close, just being FFR Milan.
See, he's trying his best to keep him back, but that DRS train was really strong.
And if Hardy will go on this lap, but yep, Hardy will be pitting for the mediums. Interesting to see if he comes out in front of Ice or not.
14 laps on the soft compound tyre, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, and he still looked really racy as well. Looked like he was still pulling a small gap, so he still looked decent. We go with strategy as no move's been done. It's just a long DRS train. It's been really annoying for some drivers. As Hardy comes out with a second, quite a chunk behind Ice. Lost quite a bit of time during that pit. It looks like Ice is catching up with Draco as well. was Purple first.
Well, for the first time in Season 3 of RSF1, RSF1 Brundle takes the lead of the American Grand Prix. He's keeping a decent gap between himself and Lukey at the current moment. However, Lukey does look like he's got the better setup on the straights because he's got...
Easy on steerage. There we go.
No team orders are in play for the McLarens. This could be costly for the Tango squad.
Yeah, this Breezy looks with the switchback. You would think Steve would let Breezy pass using technically the faster tyres, but there's no team orders currently. That isn't really working for them as they're losing significant time to FFR Milan. Interesting to see
Breezy
how
wants this.
Yeah, he might get a better run out here. Steve won't be as close to FFR Milan for the pool and DRS.
He's not deploying his overtake mode because I think he knows that Steerage has got the DRS on FFR Milan, so Breezy has no need. Nice. He knows Breezy has no need to deploy it because unless Breezy makes any mistakes here in the first sector, he can stockpile that ERS and then attack Steerage going into the straight.
Yeah, Steve's getting closer to FFR Milan, so it could just be another big long DRS straight. This Brundle is pulling a nice big gap on Lukey. He's also filling the gap on Martin.
Closing it.
There's about a second roughly. We'll see if that shrinks through. Lukey's got a DRS, but not much ERS.
1.3 from my last remember, but Brundle declared a time penalty. Breezy down the inside on his teammate, yet again going down the end of the straight, but this time it doesn't look like Steerage has got the ability to make a comeback and defend down the inside. Breezy moves round the outside and takes 6th place, so very good move there by Breezy. A very risky move racing each other, especially when it comes to the constructors battle, because if McLaren take themselves out, it might as well just hand Haas the opportunity to take the lead in the Constructors' Championship, but
Brundle pits.
Breezy up to 6th.
Brundle pits.
Oh, so now Lukey takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Magic Mark 2nd, and Muddy Biscuit 3rd, FFR Milan 4th, Breezy 5th, Steerage 6th, Rippin' One Shot up to 7th, Brutal 8th, and Grunty up to 9th. Brundle, because the pack was still quite close together, he pits and is now in last position.
Looking good for the Haas team currently, 2nd and 3rd. And then FFR Milan splitting them from the McLarens, P5 and P6. Imagine Mark does have that time penalty which could affect him. He's also on 13 lap Old Hard. I think they'll go to the end. Pretty sure they will. 10 laps left.
It's a good thing that the Haas is still quite close to each other and Lukey, because Marks is getting the DRS off of Lukey. Muddy's getting a DRS off of Marks. Milan is basically, it's just a huge train falling all the way back to Rippin.
Yes, Ice goes flying past Grunty. He's making his way back up the field again.
Oh, Hardy caught out Draco at the end of that straight. Hardy moves up into 11th position. He was fighting with Ice for the lead of the Grand Prix for a brief moment ago and led it for a lap or so, and then instantly pitted. So, it's got a bit of work to do.
Will Magic Mark get past Lukey with the DRS? Lukey is rather low on the ERS. Rather burning it near his Magic Mark.
Marks isn't using it at all.
Ice goes fastest again, 33.9.
Oh, the Magic Man is thirsty to try and maybe collect his first race win since his drive for the Racing Point team back in the first season of RSF1 in F1 2019. And a good comeback that he's made as he is really pushing now at Lukey, and if he can get a good run out the hairpin, he might be able to make this move here and now.
Closest battle he's got so far is the two McLarens. Steady that, Breeze
I
is
don't
pulling
think
away. Yep, pulling away.
Marks is in a bit of a bad spot now because he's fallen out the DRS window.
As
Just slightly.
O'Hardy gets past Branty.
Good move by Hardy. Those fresh medium tyres are really doing him well. He could take those to the end quite easily and overtakes Grantastrophe. And now he's back behind Eitz where he was just moments ago. Eitz is fighting Brutal Reapers and that's going to hold him up. Oh, that's close.
To the inside, maybe. Oh, Brutal's trying to block it off, I believe. Oh, wait, a
Crikey,
bump there.
That's some racing there.
I'm pretty sure Eitz will get past with DRS here and the ERS open.
Oh, he's going to make the move down the inside. It looks like the Racing Point's trying to... Oh, they touch wheels. They just keep hitting each other.
In the end, Eitz does come through.
Oh, that could have ended badly.
Breezy's all over the back at FFR Milan through the S's there. Looking good on this straight. I'm pretty sure we might see a couple of overtakes, maybe Breezy on Milan, and we might even get it done before the corner. That's
no, he's not choosing to.
Not worth a dive, I don't think.
And bad news for Magic Marks. It's out of the DRS on Lukey, so Lukey can pull away a little bit.
Steerage? It's getting a bit closer to Breezy. Too far away from the move though. Close here.
Gets the look. Hardy does also battle with Brutal Reapers.
Hardy come. Oh! Contact.
Ooh, they hit each other.
Didn't catch the Ipswich caught Eitz respect for
no. It looks like Hardy tried to make a move down the inside with Brutal Reapers. He's rolled back onto the track. Oh my god. And he's retired on the track.
See, I feel like disqualified there or not, but obviously not. Don't
no, he retired under his own power. That was so close not to collect RSF from Brundle. A load of people have chosen to pit. Magic Marks is coming off of his tyres. I wonder what's happening here. He's going for the softs.
No safety car, so all good currently.
I think they thought it was a safety car.
Yeah, check the pattern early. Yeah, Hardy went with a move back on Draco, I believe it was. No, Brutal. And went for a big dive. Brutal fought back. I got a clip of it. So we should be good.
Unfortunately, Hardy did retire on track as well.
Yeah, not good for the penalty points, I believe. As now the pack is rather split up, apart from Eitz, who's got past one shot, who is now in P4. His strategy's paid off rather well, staying in soft so long, making his way right back up the field.
And now here's the moment that's now building up, because this is the battle for the championship lead. Because as it stands, if Muddy finishes in second and Steerage third, Muddy will just barely extend his lead in the championship by another 3 points. And so that means Steerage needs to get past him. And also, Breezy is down in 11th position behind FFR Milan still. Magic Mark's in 9th. So Marks is not out of this because he's got the fresh soft tyres that can go to the end, and he can challenge Brundle, Draco, Grunt. He could challenge everyone up in front and probably make those positions back up again. Land now join up.
Draco on the pit.
Yeah, Draco's now gone to the pits. That's pushed Breezy back into the point scoring positions. And he's choosing to go onto the soft tyres. But this is a real big moment here because you can see Muddy is not having a good time there, and he's trying to not collect penalties, so he's willing to lose time to not get a penalty, and that means Steerage is actually going to have him on the straight. Going down the second straight, right in the gearbox of the Haas. This is a battle for the championship lead. It's a championship leader versus the runner-up. He's got the DRS but no ERS. They both got nothing. So it's a battle to the end of the line here. Steerage runs deep going at the end of the straight. It's side by side still nearly, but Steerage moves up into second place and he will close the gap in terms of the Drivers' Championship if the grid stays as it is. But Muddy falls down behind him. A little bit of a wobble there from Steerage. Muddy Biscuit is not out of it as of this moment. He could try and maybe make a move going down the end of the start-finish straight. We'll keep on board with the championship leader, but this is close.
Because of that battle, Ice has been catching up quite a lot. Almost like 4/10 in that last sector there. It's getting really close, not quite in DRS just yet, but ERS is planning versus another 3-second time penalty.
And Magic Marks collects the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. But he'll get that extra point if he stays where he is. KTS Draco has collected a 3-second time penalty again. So let's have a quick little look at the penalty situation. Rip and One Shot's got 9, Grunt's got 6, Marks has got 6, Brundle's got 12, Milan's got 3, Breezy's got 3, Brutal and KTS both have 12 apiece.
So currently it looks like Breezy will be P10 if he finishes there, but it looks like he's catching up, and a yellow flag.
Oh!
Brutal is off.
Brutal.
It's virtual safety
It's a
car.
virtual safety car.
Breezy got past Milan, and that just there, just before the safety, virtual came out, so I'm pretty sure they're good.
Contact between Draco and Brutal Reapers by the looks of it, because Brutal's car is gone in the S's. However, because it's off the track, the game's warranted it for a virtual safety car, no need for a proper safety car.
Should be going away soon, hopefully.
Momentarily, it should go. Just got to be careful with drivers not to speed under the virtual safety car, otherwise they'll collect a drive-through penalty.
Breezy is all over the back of Brundle so far, and there we go.
Well, that, and I said it, KTS Draco was the one car who was speeding under the safety car
Breezy?
and has collected a drive-through penalty.
And Breezy pits, I don't know why.
That's a bit bold, unless he's got damage.
Oh, there's no damage. So
He's serving a drive-through.
A drive-through? Oh, that's unfortunate. That will be... We're in P10, which isn't the best. And he'll finish P10 as it is, go on, get 10 races left.
Well, at least Breezy will still score a point, as KTS Draco has chosen to retire in the pits, and so that leaves us only 10 cars left out of the 16 that started for the American Grand Prix.
So far, Haas are better off currently with the points. Let's see if there's been any moves made. A big lock up from Muddy Biscuit just there.
Land's getting cheered on in the chat. Steerage has actually gotten close to Lukey now, and so we'll be seeing a battle now for the lead of the American Grand Prix.
Ace is also getting rather close to Muddy Biscuit as well. Maybe you may get a move in the straight as well. Muddy Biscuit's a slight bit oversteer and the exit of that corner doesn't pay him any favour. And again, Ace does have the better tyre here. One Shot's tyres, but I'm trying to see if they make it to the end. I'm pretty sure they will. It's also getting really, really cloudy. Full laps there.
Sorry to cut in. Magic Marks sends it down the inside on Gruntashafy. Gruntashafy goes wide. Marks moves up into 6th. So that's very good for the Haas driver, because with Breezy down in 10th, this is his opportunity to capitalise on McLaren's unfortunate point scoring finish with one in the top and one at the bottom. This could be good for Haas to bring it ever so close, because it looks like Marks' soft is still good and he's just past Grunt, and he's now putting immense pressure on Rip and One Shot. He's going to send it. No, he's not going to send it down the inside, but it does look like Rip and One Shot gets a poor run through the hairpin. Marks is going to get the DRS assistance as well. and he moves up into 5th position. Meanwhile, Muddy Biscuit up ahead has just been passed. Breezy's retired on the track, he's crashed, and that's another virtual safety car.
Yeah, it's P3 now. Good race from him so far. Hopefully no one else picks up a drive-through penalty currently. 9 races remain.
So easy too.
Yeah, he's going to take it easy. Don't want to go too fast.
Even though Breezy is out, he'll still collect that point though, so he's not in the complete loss.
Yeah, point's a point, I suppose. I believe it will go in as the front runners are on the straight. Is it sort of speeding up now? Maybe it might go in. Nope, not yet.
I bet he's going to do it once they cross past his hairpin.
There we go.
The RS enabled safety car is gone.
And no one has penalties picked up for there, which is rather good.
Oh, steerage! Steerage and Lukey just collected penalties.
Saw that there. So currently, Ice and Muddy Biscuit have the chance to take 1-2.
That is big.
Yeah, they really need to push in now, try to get that
They
gap.
need that gap.
It's really hard, the tyres are on Ice, I'm pretty sure Bill will go back on soon. As Milan gets past one shot. I'm pretty sure one shot doesn't. It has the DRS, not close enough to get past Milan though. Milan's getting closer and closer to Grunty. Big dive. Ooh. Grunty gets his switch back. It's close just there.
Milan's got the tyres though compared to a Gruntastrophe, but yep, there you go. Send it back down the inside. Grunt. Oh, that was a very good save though from Milan because he gets caught on the inside. Almost would have been a spin if he applied the throttle.
Stage really close to Lucky right now. They're both still struggling with DRS. Stage does have a DRS, looking like going to get closer and closer. Maybe if they move, not quite close enough just yet. So we've got 2 laps to go. Currently, it is looking like Milan past Grunty again.
Oh, what a send! What a send! That was good. That was a good move by FFR Milan. Moves up into P6 and he's now got to try and catch up to Magic Marks. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead is still very much in play. Going over a quick penalty check. It's 3 seconds to Lukey, 3 seconds to Steerage, 6 to Marks. Pardon me. 3 to FFR Milan, 6 to Grunt. 8th is one shot with 12 and Grunt with 12 as well. Back on for the battle for the lead as Steerage back. It goes down the inside. Ice gets a little look at this as well.
Ice make a move
and
here.
the poor braking. On the poor braking,
Past
it looks
one.
like Steerage got poor traction. Lukey tries to retake second from Ice. Ice, however, manages to catch the AlphaTauri perfectly napping. Freeway battle for the lead. Steerage just desperately trying to hold on. The amount of pressure that's been applied by Ice is incredible as we move to the second to last lap of the Grand Prix. And with those fresher medium tyres compared to their hards, Ice is having a whale of a time.
Ice just needs to keep it clean currently and they will secure P1. I think he wants to win on track as well though, as down just penalties. Currently looks like he will get it. He's pushing really hard.
He just has to sit in his gearbox, but it doesn't look like he's willing to accept that as a racer. But Lukey is eager to try and take the position back, but due to that penalty, even if he does retake second place, he will lose it to Ice. Muddy Biscuit is keeping well close within them as well, so Muddy Biscuit could collect a podium here if he keeps up his current pace. However, if the other two collect another penalty up in front, Steerage or Lukey, that's not going to play well for them.
Ice is pushing rather hard as well, seems Steerage, he's really pushing hard. Potentially, hopefully not picking up another penalty. As Ice will have to run in this straight. Steerage has...
Oh, he's going to do it.
Barely in DRS. Near does Ice will be DRS coming into play right now. He's flying, so he might make a big dive here. Maybe. Nope.
Send
Thinks
it.
better
No.
of it. There's no need to force a move and potentially get damage to the wing on
So
track.
close, oh my god. So it looks like Steerage is holding off Ice with everything he's got. Muddy Biscuit's fallen back a little bit, so I don't even know if Muddy Biscuit will take second place. I mean, the gap between Steerage and Muddy Biscuit is 2.9 seconds, now gone to 3. So Steerage needs a poor lap and Muddy needs a good lap to take the position from Steerage at the end of this Grand Prix.
Also interesting how the hards have lasted in whole 20 laps. It's been the last lap now. And I'm interested to see if Ice can get past Steerage.
Doesn't need to make any heroics. He can just stay behind him and win the Grand Prix that way, but it's just a matter of does he feel it's worth it? Because Steerage will cross the line provisionally as the race winner, but with his penalty, that's obviously not going to happen.
I'm pretty sure Muddy Biscuit will secure P3 if he just keeps that gap within Lucky. Just 1 second, just keeps it in there and it should be good. And you look at his filling a lot of that gap. Don't really think he's going in time, so in this second and third is Ice, big run on Steerage. Going for the move.
Here he goes, sends it down the inside. Steerage tries to cover him off. I guess a little bit of a lock up there, so it allows Steerage to challenge back around. This is the lap for the lead on the final. Oh my god! It looks like Steerage tried to hold it around the outside. Ice though manages to hold it, but this is not good for Steerage because obviously he's being slowed up now. It all depends now on this last few corners if Muddy Biscuit can get past him after they cross the line. But after a tremendous drive from starting, falling back, and then getting back up ahead, Ice crosses the line to win the United States Grand Prix. Steerage second, Lukey third, and Muddy gets third. Muddy doesn't get only 0.9 thousandths of a second he was off of taking second place from Steerage.
Very, very close.
Very good work from Ice.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear he managed to get from last place all the way back at the field to then win the race just there. Very good racing.
If you would be able to invite the top 3 to the party, that'll be while I go over the table. If you want to vote for your chosen driver of the day, because the game has awarded it to Catastrophe, but the Twitter vote at Racing Series F1 will open momentarily, and then you'll be able to vote for your chosen driver of the day. In a very dramatic American Grand Prix, I have to say, with 2 virtual safety cars and 2 normal safety cars, but the championship battle is still close. So you're going from the table here. Ice is on top after starting first and finishing first, so very well done to RSF1 Ice. Steerage gets second place after starting second, so maintains their position. Muddy Biscuit gets third, again a clean race, not a single penalty been applied to Muddy Biscuit during that race. Fourth is Lukey in the AlphaTauri, fifth is Magic Marks, sixth is FFR Milan, seventh is Catastrophe, 8th is Brundle, 9th is Rip and One Shot, 10th is Breezy, 11th is Draco, 12th is Brutal, 13th is Hardy, 14th is Peachy Pig, 15th is K-Mag, and 16th is JJ Hudson. But by the looks of it, 15 points, 25 points has been secured by Haas, and sorry, 26 points because that extra fastest lap to Magic Marks. And only 18 to McLaren, so the gap closes by 8 seconds in terms of the Constructors' Championship. So, not much, but it's still something. And now we just wait for Steerage and Muddy Biscuit. I know Steerage doesn't normally tend to join the party because he tends to go to bed straight away. So we'll give Steerage a brief moment to try and join. If he doesn't join, then we've given him that courtesy. Right, we'll do the interviews while we wait. So I'll interview Ites and you interview Muddy.
Sure.
So I'll let you start off with Muddy.
So, Muddy, good performance and good race there. How did you feel about that race?
I came into USA probably not expecting to get best result, but coming away with third, I'll take that just. But yeah, most of the race was me just spent a DRS train, trying not to get overtaken by the car behind and trying to pass the car in front. Apart from that, it's just sort of very standard. I think I was behind Magic Marks for most of the second stint. And when he pinted, I was trying to push to get Lukey, but I think I only managed to get DRS for one lap before I fell back again. Then Steerage and Ites both passed me. And then when I saw Lukey and Steerage both get penalty, I was trying to drive as fast as I could to try and get within those 3 seconds. And annoyingly, was 9 milliseconds in the end behind Steerage. So that's a bit of a pain seeing that it would be a 6-point swing in the championship, but I'd take third coming to USA. Wouldn't really have expected that.
Yeah, it was really close to the end there. I was worrying that you might have dropped out of that position. It was good race and a well-deserved first place if you ask me. But looking towards next week, which I believe is...
Mexico, I think.
Mexico, yep. How do you feel about that?
I prefer Mexico to USA, but still I think these sort of last 4 tracks, maybe Brazil a bit less, but I just don't really feel like I go very quick around them. So I think at the moment, seeing how quick Steerage has been in the last sort of second half of the season since he fixed into that, I think the championship's sort of in his court, even though I think he's 9 points behind me. I don't think I've actually beaten him in like the last 6 or 7 races, so I think if he can keep it clean, I think he's got one hand on the title.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the race tonight. Hopefully, Primus might see you back here next week.
Hopefully.
Well done.
Before we move on to Ites, because Steerage collected second and you collected third there, Muddy, the gap between you two was initially... It was initially 12 points, yeah, so he's made up 3 on you, so it is a 9-second gap. I was just confirming that. So, well, as Toxic has said, congratulations on P3. And yet again, another clean drive.
Yeah, one morning I think I got it about lap 5 or lap 6, and it was nothing from there, so clean race again.
Well, at least it's not a penalty, that's the main thing. And now moving on to RSF1 Ites. It looks like you enjoyed that one because you started off in the lead, you took a very big risk staying on those softs for quite a long while, but then nearing the end of the Grand Prix, everyone was on hards and you've been on the mediums, you looked like you flourished. But tell us how it was for your end, mate.
A bit frustrating with the safety cars, to be fair, but you know, I just decided to stick to my strategy, and it paid off in the end. Obviously, took a last-minute move on Steerage to, you know, win the race on track because I didn't want to win on penalties. You know what I mean? Like it's not like winning on track, is it? But you know, I'm glad he didn't get overtaken by Muddy Biscuit in the end in some way. I'm not trying to help him in any way. Obviously, you know, overtaking him, I want to be fair on both of them, you know, with their chances of the title. But you know, quite glad that I managed to come back through the field and win.
And for a moment there, it did look like he was probably going to win by crossing the line and taking first off of Steerage, but then you managed to get the job done in the third sector. Steerage really did give you a lot of strain for that, because it did look like he tried to hold it around the outside after you got to the end of the straight, but you know, in the end he backed off and it secured you your is it your 3rd win this season? 4th?
No, 5th or 6th.
Crikey! If only you was up there for the drivers' championship, that would have been pretty mega. But at the moment, only 75 points remain with Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, a bit frustrating because obviously I joined round 4, so I missed the first 3 races.
Well, regardless, Ites, for this season, You've proven that you are a really good driver. You've shown great pace. You've given us some great battles. I think my favourite performance from you was Singapore. So even though you're not in contention for the Drivers' Championship at the moment, you could still fight very much for third and keep third, which obviously I know is not ideal for you. You want to win, but
Yeah.
tell you what, mate, third's nothing to shake off. It's still a really good achievement within joining later than everyone else.
Yeah, of course. In order for me to win the championship, I'd have to have Muddy Biscuit and Steerage to both DNF twice. So I think it's a bit out of the question. As
Asking
it is.
a bit.
Yeah, it's asking a bit too much.
But you can still try and claim as many wins as you can, reap some glory while you're at it, like you've just done today. And same question that Toxic asked Muddy, how are you feeling for Mexico City?
I'm not sure yet, really. I haven't really done anything I haven't seen much of Mexico on this game, so might have to put a couple laps in and see where I'm at.
Rightio, and a very remarkable drive from starting in the lead and finishing in the lead. So congratulations on winning the Grand Prix yet again. Obviously, I didn't see you in Japan, so the last time I saw you was Singapore, but congratulations.
Cheers, mate.
And yeah, Toxic, that was a pretty fun one, wasn't it?
Yeah, good race, good battles and that. Reasonably clean, couple 2 safety cars, but nothing too bad, unfortunately for K-Mag, I believe, who went into Peachy, but it's all part of the job, I suppose.
It happens, it's racing in the end of the day. He may be frustrated now, but I think at that moment when he got collected, there was literally nothing else he could have done. It happened in an instant.
Unfortunately for both drivers.
Also, I want to thank you for stepping in for Vettel and joining me for co-coms. So yeah, that has been it for the American Grand Prix. If you want to see more F2 action, you're going to have to wait until next Sunday when these lot take it around Mexico. And I think actually after next week will be the holiday break. So yeah, thank you very much everyone. And again, if you want to see more F2 action next week, if you want to see more American Grand Prix action, please tune in tomorrow for F3 at 8 PM. And also, I think Toxic wants me to put this in. If you want to see us two battle it out on track, join us on Thursday when me, Toxic and I will be racing around America ourselves, because I think he's more eager to battle everyone, including me. But yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining. We want to wish Romain Grosjean a speedy recovery, as well as Lewis Hamilton, who it was confirmed positive for COVID-19. So big recovery to Grosjean from his crash, and Lewis to COVID. Thank you very much everyone, and we'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, take care and have a good night.